on? I don't know if you can hear me. Guess what? This is a DIY project. DIY streaming Shelley style. Yeah, let's see. My name's Michelleybuff, and I like reading true crime stories. And tonight, I'm going to read part 2 of the John Wayne Gacy. But I've got to check and make sure that I am at least doing a good job at streaming. I think it's good. Okay. I look so cute. Aren't I just the cutest? Let's see if this changes for a second, because I was messing around with the layout. Not okay. I just make myself laugh a lot. I can't listen to that. Anyways, so yeah, let me check out my Kindle. That looks fine. Yeah? That looks okay. What if I change this, though? What if I, like, scooch this around town? Let's see. Can I scooch this around town? No. Around town. Like, I'm gonna scooch this around town. I just made it a little bit smaller of a window. Does it affect the stream? Or does it just capture the window? I need lessons. I think it's okay. Oh, a Gangnam style. Alright, well, what if I do that? What if I do some of this? What if I do some of that? So last night I squished the Kindle view, and so there was like a whole black side, which is okay. I mean, like, what do you want from me? Doing this for free. Trying to figure it out on my own. Oh, see? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. You know why I do that? So I can see if someone is chatting, because I don't want to read alone. Who wants to read alone? I mean, I guess you want to read alone. Go ahead, read alone, but not my fave. And I know there's a way to tinker with the chats. So if you're watching and you want to say hi or say what's up or say that you know me, that makes me feel like super extra sparkly, because my friends get why I'm doing this. I don't think anyone else does. Anyways, I guess we could live with this, right? Can we live with this, or do I have to do that? I can, you know what? How about, fuck it, I'll just use Twitch. I mean, I have the iPad going. Hopefully it's gonna stay alive tonight. Stay alive. And, ew. Jeff Dink, you hosted me with one viewer? What up, cuz? How you doing? Are you smoking that dank weed tonight? Did my mom ask you to take care of the dog? You know, Smokey, he's a good boy. Okay, so, shite. I'm gonna mess with this one more time, just so you guys can see that. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Whatever. You know, sometimes it just be like that. You know, I wish somebody would be like, hey, I can help you. This is what I think you should do, but no. I mean, that would be like a magical wizardly dream come true out of The Hobbit. Always, and no, she didn't. Okay, good. Well, I'm glad you're smoking and staying Staying awesome, cuz. Okay, so tonight I'm reading about John Wayne Gacy. Have you heard of him? He's a real sicko. And he's dead. He did. So yeah, if you go to the KFC and you ask for the Colonel or John Wayne Gacy, uh, they'll just be like, he did. Just a little Family Guy joke. Okay, so John Wayne Gacy was like, we'll just go over the main parts of this book. So this book is called The Last Book on the Left, and it's about serial killers. I have it right here. It's from my favorite podcast. These guys are freaking hilarious. They're not sickos, I swear to God. I mean, they're kind of sick, but they're also really cool. And they came out with a book last year, and it didn't get the publicity that it deserved because of COVID, right? COVID fucked everything up. So in my little dorky way, I'm just trying to share this with the fans, because we really, we appreciate these guys. I appreciate these guys, and I appreciate the medium that they use, which is podcasting, comedy, and cute illustrated books that are easy to read for people that don't read good. Don't I just crack you up sometimes? I crack myself up. Anyways, geez, don't you know? I would love to see... What would I love to see right now? I would love to see... Alright, 1 second. 1 second, homies. Chicken wings, hot dogs and bologna, chicken and macaroni. I wanna chill with my homies. No. Oh yeah, that's from, not this chapter. Okay. Oh gosh. Fat face. You ever look in the camera, and you see your fat face, and it freaks you out? Happens to me every day. Every day of my life. Okay. I think the layout still looks fine. Right? It still looks good. Oh, I heard my dog. She's barking out there. Sorry guys, just give me a second. I shouldn't be wasting time. Time is ticking. Time is ticking, yeah. I think I could have set this up earlier, but that's fine. Alright, so Jeffrey, you're here with one other friend, I assume. What up, buddy? Alright. Okay. Alright, so, we stopped last night when John Wayne Gacy had already been to prison. He went to prison for 18 months. The original sentencing was for like 10 years. This was because 2 boys had come forward. I mean, you can correct me, but I'm just like going off the whatever brain cells I have left from yesterday. And I mean, one kid was 15 years old, and he was going to hotels with him. Like, he was having the boy meet him at hotels, and they would do things together. And then John Wayne Gacy would pay the boy and drop him off at home. And the kid was like constantly, I mean, that is abuse, that's sexual abuse, that's molestation. And it's like keeping the secret. And John Wayne Gacy had sort of a standard, or like this type of, what's the word I'm looking for? Standing within the community. He's this big fat fuck that goes to the JCs, and the JCs is kind of like our version of the Elks Club or whatever, those stupid clubs that older people get into, and they supposedly do good things for the community. I don't know. I have yet to join one, so sorry if I'm knocking it, right? Anyways, so he's like this well-known guy, but he's molesting the 15-year-old boy, and another boy that worked with him or worked at like one of the KFCs that he managed. He didn't own these KFCs. His father-in-law did. So he was boasting about owning fucking KFCs. I mean, I guess I would too. You know what I mean? Like that would be pretty sweet. Like, yeah, I own that KFC, that one right by my mom's house. Yeah, it's cool. No, I don't know. You know the one in Millbrae. So, although I know if I had a friend that worked there when I was in high school. Philip. Yeah, Philip worked at KFC. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. That's my nature. Um, and so this other boy, oh lordy. Oh lordy. I think they were hanging out in his basement dungeon called the Rompus Room, and he had a pool table and he had a bunch of alcohol, and he was always serving it up to these youngster boys that he either worked with or that worked for him at the KFC or whatever. And he gets this one boy, I think he gets him wasted, and he fuck, I just read it last night. I'm sorry. Uh he so okay, so yeah, the one kid wigged out, told his parents all about it. His parents told the community. Some of the members of the community didn't want to believe it, or just didn't believe it. I mean, like, they didn't want to believe it. And then some of the so the community was split. The community, sorry, was split. And like half would believe um what this kid said about him, you know, like raping him and paying him and like trying to keep it a secret. And so what happened was, okay, so John Wayne Gacy's wife is having her second child, okay? And he must be fucking bored. So what is he gonna do? He's gonna rape one of his employees. And this teenager, Lynch, tried laughing it off, saying, so they were playing a pool game, and oh my gosh. So yeah, he's in the Rompus Room with boy number two, and this fucking teenager smoking and drinking and just having a good old time with this fucking loser. And Gacy would usually say, like, if you lose, you gotta give me a blowjob, ha ha ha. And it's like, yeah, dude, whatever. I don't know. That's just what I'm assuming. And I guess Gacy threw the game, and he's like, well, I don't know, like, it's time for a blowjob. And the kid didn't, like, take it seriously. And what happened is, Lynch, the boy, tried moving on to a different subject, and Gacy lost control, grabbing Lynch by the arm and dragging him upstairs to the kitchen, where he grabbed a knife and ordered the teenager into his bedroom. Oh shit, it's about to break loose. This kid's about to get raped at knife point. Trying to wrestle Lynch onto the bed, he accidentally sliced open Lynch's arm in the ruckus. So yeah, the blood snapped him out of it. What the fuck am I doing, right? And he helps the kid bandage up his arm, and he's like, "Hey, let's calm down. Let's relax. I'm sorry. What am I, you know how they do, those bad actors." And they end up sitting on the couch watching porn. And then he asked the kid if he could try a trick, and the kid's like, "What do you mean trick? Like magic?" I would have been like, "Ooh, magic! Yes, do a trick!" And then I would have gotten my, head blown off or something. So anyways, Gacy pulled out a chain and a padlock, and he secured the boy's hands behind his back before pushing him down onto a cot. Uh-oh. And he secured his feet. He tried to squeeze the boy. I guess he was going to rape him. And the kid pretended to pass out. Lacey. Gacy freaked out. I guess, picked him up, threw him in his car, and drove him home. Like, anyway, so those were the two incidences they talk about. And he would Gacy's parents were present at the sentencing. Okay, he denied being gay when he went to jail. He was he worked on the kitchen staff in jail, in prison, and he didn't let he showed like a, you know, he was totally like just a racist asshole towards yeah, he refused to hire openly gay inmates, claiming that they would contaminate the food with gay. You're not allowed to work in the kitchen, you gay guy. You're gonna get gay all over my mashed potatoes and my biscuits. Get out of here. For Christmas, he would dress up as the Santa Claus. And he played the good guy. I mean, he did, ugh. He got out for good behavior, right? What the fuck? Within 6 months of settling in, Gacy's behavior began to show a murderous edge. Dude, okay, so he gets out of jail. He moves, him and his mother moved to Illinois. The dad died. His dad, his fucking sick dad. He starts a construction business, and he is on. He's like ready to just pop, right? So he's working with a young boy for his construction business, and he hits the boy in the back of the head. The kid turns around like, what the fuck? And then he's holding the hammer there like, what did I do? Like, okay, now this makes me think. He had a head injury when he was a little kid, and I don't know why they brought up the defecation while he was like being born. Like, what did, that didn't mean anything. I think that happens naturally. But the head injury and the panty stealing and yeah, it's just being gay. Like, okay, so whatever. But now this, trying to, you know, you go into jail, trying to control boys, trying to trick them, master, manipulator into young men. And now he's out of jail. He played the system. He got out on good behavior. And now he's hitting boys in the back of the head with fucking, like, what, a hammer? Gacy told him, I didn't know it would come over me. I'm just tripping hard. What's up, Roger? You mean tight or height? So anyways, John Wayne Gacy out of jail, and he hits this boy that he's working with, his construction company. I would have been like, what the fuck? Pulled out my little X-Acto knife or a hammer and just, I mean, I would have gone crazy. That would have given me the ticket to just go fucking, like, Comanche, Navajo, little warrior princess if someone hit me that hard. And it, like they meant to do it, right? And then play stupid. Oh, hell no. Okay? So anyways, the employee left and never spoke to Gacy again. Pay me money or you're gonna get your ass whooped. This little cartoon of Henry Zabrowski. I'm not gonna do a Henry's voice, but so do you want a recommendation on LinkedIn? If it makes you feel better, I can lie and say you know Excel. And Ben Kissel goes and says, yeah, dude, this is the real world, not Animaniacs. Right? You just don't hit people in the heads with hammers. So after prison, this had not been Gacy's first violent incident. Since his release from prison in early 1971, he attempted to rape a teenage boy he picked up from the Chicago bus station. That tripped me out last night. A boy was at a bus station in 1971. This just blows my mind. Like, I've taken the Greyhound bus before to go visit my father in Sacramento, so from San Francisco to Sacramento, but I was always with an adult. I wasn't just sitting at the bus stop by myself. Gacy was caught. So he attempted to rape this teenage boy. He was caught, but since this crime occurred long before the criminal justice system was plugged into a cross-referencing network, His parole board back in Iowa was never notified of the crime. Serial killers got away with some shit back then. Thank God for like DNA and like the Matrix now. I mean, it's still not great, but you know what I'm saying? There goes J-Rock coming out of me. Gacy could have potentially been sent to prison regardless, but the victim didn't show up for court, and the case was dismissed. So many of these serial killers got away with this cross-state confusion, right? Just fucking leave the state and just start over. He slipped out of the police's hands like a fat, hairy bar of soap. Ew! People didn't give a shit back then, or now, really. I mean, right? People don't give a shit unless it's about them. Like, that's just what I've learned, like, growing up, recovering, is like, I'm always thinking about myself. I'm a selfish bastard, so when I, like, think about other people, it's rare. It's rare that I, like, a caring person. But we do have on the podcast, there's Hero of the Week. Ben does that, and those are pretty funny. You should listen to the podcast. It's the last podcast on the left. It has nothing to do with, like, political views. It's a reference to a horror movie. And they have a book out, and I'm reading the book right now, and this is what it looks like. It's fucking dope. Yeah. This is a haunting and hilarious examination of history's most notorious and cold-blooded serial killers from the creators of the award-winning Last Podcast on the Left. There you go. Anyway, so we're on chapter 4. Continuing on. I care about you too, Roger, just so you know. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get sick. Now we're moving on to his girlfriend. Oh yeah, I'm backpedaling, I'm sorry, but we stopped at the clown when he became a clown. But it's good for me to remember too. Later that year, Gacy reconnected with a high school friend named Kathy Hull. Oh, Kathy. And after 12 months of tepid courtship, the two were married in a wedding that was mostly planned by John. Kathy added 2 young stepdaughters to his life, and with a conventionally normal family at his side, Gacy expanded his business. This is what I don't know. He named it PDM Construction, Painting, Decorating, and Maintenance. Or, please let me know, is it number 1, polish, daily maintenance, or is it Polish? Because I don't fucking know. I looked up how do you spell Polish, and it's this Polish. Oh wait, can I? Why isn't it found? Here, I'll search the web real quick, guys. Oh no, I don't want to see what maintenance is. I want to see the Polish. Okay, so this is referencing Polish, but then Polish is a West Slavic language, and it's spelled the same, so fuck me, right? I'm an idiot. Anyways. But unbeknownst to his new family, John Wayne Gacy's journey toward being one of America's greatest monsters had already begun before he said, I do. Ugh. He was Polish, but he's also into, like, construction and carpentering business. So is that, like... You know what I'm saying? Who was the creeper in the previous chapter? Oh, good question. Good question. So as far as streaming and reading the book with people, with others, I did chapter 1, which was Ted Bundy. I don't know if you can see that. Ted Bundy is chapter 1. Chapter 2 is Richard Chase. Chapter 3 is Ed Gein. I wanted to do Ed Gein, but it's very long. And then chapter 4 is John Wayne Gacy. Richard Ramirez is next, and I think I would do that one again online too. I don't know. Let me know. Okay. So we're still hung up. Yell at me. Tell me. Let's see. Let me know what you guys think. Is it Polish or Polish? Does it even matter? Not really. Hold on. Let me tell my friend. I'm not even gonna go into it. I have to go. Yeah. That's how you do it. Oh, it's 7:30. Ayo. Should I throw this on the web real quick, or do you guys know? Richard Ramirez is a gnarly one. Yeah, did you see Ed Gein? Ed Gein, okay, so yeah, Ed Gein is great. Great. Creative. I mean, that guy was talented for kind of like blending in the background and then all of a sudden coming out like a debutante, like just showcasing his shit. No, I don't need your help now. I don't need your damn help. I am a strong, independent, sensual woman, okay? And if I ask you for help and you're not available, I'm not mad. It's okay. Although I will talk some shit. Just kidding. Y'all want to talk some shit? Yeah. Alright, so yeah, if you guys want to do different serial killers, then freaking do it. After this one, we'll move on to the next. Okay. Anyways, let me know. On January 2nd, 1972, good man, Gacy attended a family get-together, with his mother in honor of his recently deceased Aunt Pearl. Poor Aunt Pearl, she died, right? So he's there with his mom, and he consumes an excessive amount of scotch. And I'm like Ron Burgundy, like, I love scotch, 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 and then he drinks it up. So with his inhibitions lowered, he went cruising downtown. He found 16-year-old Timothy McCoy, 16-year-old boy, was waiting for a transfer at the Greyhound station. Again, the Greyhound bus station, full of weirdos. Don't go there as a teenager, especially alone. The teenager was looking to kill some time, not to kill someone too. Although it would fit him perfectly. He's at the bus station with all the other weirdos. So Gacy invited him back to his house and began pouring drinks. Oral sex came soon afterward, and once that act was done, Gacy passed out alone in his bed. Okay, so yeah, you're drunk, you pick up a kid, he gives you a blowjob, and you pass out. Been there, done that. Just kidding. So in the morning, this is from Gacy's account. At around 4 a.m., he awoke to see McCoy silently creeping toward him, butter knife in hand. Sensing danger, Gacy claimed to have sprung up from his bed to wrestle the teenager down to the ground, suffering a deep knife wound to his arm in the process. After a brief struggle, Gacy pried the knife out of McCoy's clenched fist before plunging it 4 times into the teen's chest and stomach. McCoy was still alive. It's a fucking butter knife. Ugh, I'm gonna puke. Like, I can just imagine, like, I couldn't even imagine getting scratched with a butter knife. It would fuck up your skin. Like, it would jag up, like, it's not even a sharp knife. It's a butter knife. Anyways. Oh, that's a butcher knife. That would hurt too. At least it would be easier though. It wouldn't be as brutal, right? Like, getting stabbed is just like the worst way to go. You ever sliced your finger when like cutting toast or a bagel? Whatever, Roger. It said butcher, but I thought of butter. Okay. Yep, I'm a fat girl. Okay, so he still killed the kid with a knife. And you know what the kid was doing? All the kid was doing was cooking him some fucking breakfast. It says that McCoy was still alive. He composed himself, walked to the kitchen to clean the knife. But when he arrived at the counter, he discovered a freshly sliced slab of bacon. McCoy had presumably been in the middle of a nice gesture of an early morning breakfast for his host and had come to tell John the meal would be ready soon. That is so gay and cute. Especially for like a one night stand. You're gonna go make bacon and toast for this? Ugh. Whatever. This kid must have been in love. Either way, he died, so don't do don't do any of that stuff after a one night stand. As Gacy realized this, he heard what he called a gurglation. Gurglation? Gurglation. Yeah, that's right. From the bedroom as the boy bled out on his carpet. The first of at least 33 young men to die in that house. Where's his mom? Doesn't his mom live in the house? Ew. Okay, so here we go. The next day, Gacy attended the aunt's wake as if nothing had gone awry the night before. He hadn't even bothered to cover the cut on his arm. When his sister asked about it, he nonchalantly told her he had an accident while cutting carpet on the job. Tim Cahill points out in Buried Dreams, Inside the Mind of John Wayne Gacy, that this may have been when Gacy realized he could kill without guilt or fear of being caught. He lied with ease and skill. Even with evidence of criminality in plain sight, Gacy found he could just gloss over whatever might come up. This ability to steamroll and manipulate reality would be John Wayne Gacy's greatest weapon against the world for the next 6 years. Manipulation. If you catch somebody in a lie, shut it down. Okay? Keep it real. Shut it down. You're a fucking liar. Once a liar, always a liar. I can't trust you. It's going to take a lot of hard work, a lot of soul searching on your part, and for me to see that you're not a liar anymore. Because you could be a fucking serial killer. Don't fucking lie to me. Cut you out of my life. It's from listening to these podcasts. I know better. It's like, oh no, you want to lie? Go ahead. Not over here. Whew. Sorry. Anyways, well, he was a respectable man, as a man who works in construction and is involved in politics, and also moonlights as a clown. Can be. Actually, that's exactly how I describe Donald Trump. Hot take. He could have gotten a great deal of pleasure out of the lie as well. I wonder if he actually did do a good job of lying. Or is Midwestern politeness so strong and powerful that no one pushed too hard as to why John was openly bleeding at his aunt's wake? Why don't you call people on their bullshit? It's an honest, what is it, like a nuance? It's like you can disagree with people in an honest human way and be like, what the hell? Are you bleeding? Not that they would disagree, but you could smell the lies once they start lying. During this time, Gacy's love for fraternal organizations led him to join the local Moose Lodge. Yabba dabba doo, right? He was subsequently introduced to the Jolly Joker Club. Ugh. A group of, I can think of like Sideshow Bill and like Sideshow Mel, just like in Steve-O, just like juggling and shit. A group of amateur clowns who participated in everything from Moose Lodge sponsored events to parades to hospital visits with sick children, and thus Pogo the Clown was born. Ugh. Something tells me the Kenosha Kickers from Home Alone provided regular entertainment at the old Moose Lodge. Sick children were Gacy's favorite, and by all accounts, Gacy was a fantastic clown. He used professionally made puppets, his go-to being an adorable skunk, and his bits were impeccable. the most popular being the invisible dog. In this routine, Gacy would run a tube from his pant leg to a bulb filled with water held in his hand. If the kids were skeptical about Gacy's invisible dog claims, he'd squeeze the bulb and tell the kids they'd upset the dog so much he urinated the floor. That's a fucking sick joke. Like, if I was a kid, say I'm like a healthy kid, you know, life is great. And this weirdo clown guy is like at the Moose Lodge because my grandpa is like having some dinner here or some organized fundraiser. And I got this fucking sick, fat, stinky fucker with the weird, jagged, like, diamond makeup. It's, like, horrible, scary makeup. And he's talking about an invisible dog that I can't see, and then, like, some, you know, water appears on the ground. I'd be like, where the fuck am I? Like, what is this life right now? I think I've had those experiences before as a kid. He also had a pastry bag filled with melted Snicker bars, just in case the kids really upset the invisible dog. No, Ben. I hate these blurbs because they're not that funny. Gacy claimed that his clown alter ego worked as a self-applied tranquilizer. Clowns made him feel good. I'm going to do it again. Good. He covered the walls with his home with sad clown paintings. Yes, sad clown paintings. We need more of those. They're creepy as fuck, right? Saying they gave him a warm feeling inside. But even clowning wasn't enough to tamp down the urges Gacy was beginning to feel inside. Oh my god. You guys ever heard of that song, The Tears of a Clown? I think it's by Smokey Robinson. And it's got the weird, goofy, like, circus music in the background. It's like a flute. Either way, it's stupid. It gave me weird images as a kid. Ain't nobody want to see a clown cry. What I love about true crime is that there is some stuff that is truly beyond the pale. Gacy's development of this character is like the birth of an archetypal monster out of folklore. John Wayne Gacy, like Ed Gein and Richard Ramirez, would become such a perfect embodiment of evil and mayhem that Pogo's likeness is now burned into the collective unconsciousness. He is technically an icon. Yes. Yes, history will never be the same. Following Timothy McCoy's murder, the butter knife kid. It's not a butter knife, but you know what I mean. Gacy began cruising the streets of Chicago in search of gay sex more and more often. Naturally, this put a strain on his marriage. After dozens of fights over the lack of sex in their relationship, girl, you got lucky. Thank the gods. After dozens of fights over the lack of sex in their relationship, Gacy came out as bisexual, and his wife left him for good. Aww. I mean, good for her, but if my husband came out as bisexual, I'd be like, okay. I'm not married, and I don't have a boyfriend, and if I did and he was bisexual, I don't know, but we're not there yet. So anyways, moving on. I cracked myself up. Okay, so with no one in the house to hold him back, a different kind of fantasy world began to emerge for John Wayne Gacy. In contrast to serial killers like Ted Bundy, who conjured up nebulous demonic beings to explain away their actions, right? Fucking liars. Gacy wrote a story for himself to help justify his crimes. The hero being a hard-bitten detective named Jack Hanley. Hey, it's good old Jack Hanley. Hey, take him away, boys. It's like Chief Wiggum. Fuck me. Whoa. Jack Hanley sounds like a character Daryl Hammond would play on SNL. Is Daryl Hammond still alive? Yeah, he's still alive. Anyways, he played Bill Clinton a lot at SNL, I think. It's a white guy. According to what Gacy told psychiatrists years after his capture, Jack Hanley was the persona he inhabited when he went cruising for victims. Based on a cop he'd known back when he was a line cook, Hanley was a tough guy. Undercover detective who kept undercover detective who kept the streets safe from hustlers, liars, and thieves. First of all, hustlers, liars, and thieves are way better company than a fucking serial killer, in the closet psycho clown guy. I'd hustle all day with those people. Gacy would use this persona to intimidate the male sex workers of Chicago's North Side, treating them roughly and sometimes refusing to pay. You fucking dirty fuck. I support sex workers, and if you're ever gonna gyp a sex worker, then you fucking deserve to go to hell. You know what I mean? Y'all know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. Okay, Hanley also served as a means for Gacy to socially separate from his true identity. In Gacy's own words, he believed that the Hanley persona shielded Gacy from rumor because he couldn't very well have someone telling the mayor that Pogo the Clown's queer. So, the worst thing is being a clown, not a queer. God, these homophobic men, go away. Go away. We don't need you. We don't want you. Go on, get. As Gacy started going out more frequently and his self-hatred metastasized, another persona began to develop, which he named the other guy. Who's this other guy? Come on, tell me. The personas represented different stages of Gacy's desire. When Gacy would drink to excess, his fear would melt away and Jack Hanley would emerge. Then, when the rage and desire got to be too much, Gacy would claim to black out, and then it was the other guy. The other guy who took the next step to killing. Whether or not he was telling the truth regarding these switches in identity, we'll never know. But as a result of this supposed blackout state, many of Gacy's murders remain a total mystery. For instance, 2 years after murdering Timothy McCoy, Gacy strangled a still unidentified teenage boy and buried him near the barbecue pit in his backyard. The only thing we know about this crime is that post-mortem fluid seeped from the boy's nose and mouth and left a stain on Gacy's carpet. The other guy couldn't recall any of the specifics, even when Gacy confessed to the other murders. Because I believe that this other guy was him fucking in a mad, crazy blackout, drunken haze. It happens. I've heard stories. I've experienced it myself where I don't know what I did. I don't know if I killed people or drove my car or fucking, robbed a liquor store. I just don't know. I'm an alcoholic, and when I drink, I can't control it, and boom. I might have a good night in watching Adult Swim, or I might, go on a rampage and terrorize the city. I think he should have just fessed up to, these are blackouts. But then again, the head trauma. But you know what I'm saying? Just don't lie. If you were blacked out because you drank and you were full of Rage Against the Machine or Kyle, Super Kyle meme power, aggro energy, then fucking just roll with it. Tell it like it is, man. These fucking pieces of shit. It's you're human, okay? It's okay to be gay. It's okay. I'm sorry. Y'all know what I'm saying, though? This is why I need to talk to people about this stuff. I can't read it alone without talking to myself. So thank you for being here. Thank you for letting me, like, process this stuff. I wish my friends were here. Are you guys still here? Who's still here? Okay, good. You guys are still here. Alright, so fuck John Wayne Gacy, you fucking liar. Just admit you had a blackout. That poor kid. Buried by the barbecue pit. Blame it on the other guy. Alright, that's fine. Outside of home, Gacy appeared to his neighbors to be a man who had everything. His wife's departure was kept a secret, and the PDM was making real money. That's the construction business. I don't know what it stands for. Pulling in almost $200,000 a year to show off his wealth, Gacy threw a lavish backyard parties every summer. Ooh, is that where the little tiki bar comes from? With themes ranging from Hawaiian to cowboy. Or that one song that goes, dun, 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 Tonto, jump on it. No, not that one. It's fun to stay at the Waya. Okay, so this is probably after these parties. But that's what I would play. I'd fucking rock out to the Village people all night long with my virgin pina coladas. Okay, so he threw parties. And only boys were invited. Sometimes his wife would even attend in order to keep up appearances. Oh, honey. Don't do anything for that fool. Interesting party themes for the obviously not gay John Wayne Gacy, right? I'm not gay. I'm just wearing assless chaps. This is my party. Gacy was doing fantastic in the political arena, as well as a Democrat. A Democrat since the age of 19, he served as the assistant precinct captain in the election of a Chicago alderman in 1960. What is alderman? Is that like an elderman? Like, I know what an elder statesman is. It's like somebody within the community that's kind of an old guy that you respect, like an elder, right? But what the hell is an alderman? I'm not going to look it up. I don't care. More than 10 years later, he decided to try his hand at Chicago politics again. What up, cuz? Thank you for sticking around. You must be bored. Or too stoned to change the Twitch channel. Welcome to my world. So he started by volunteering for campaigns. You ever volunteered for a campaign? No, I haven't. I mean, at least I vote. But the passionate political people, right? Volunteer for campaigns. Oh, you know what? What did I do for Andrew Yang? I think I just supported him with money. Okay, so tirelessly working to establish himself as a player on the city's north side while growing his construction business. Within a few years, Gacy had amassed enough power and respect to earn the privilege of running the annual Polish Construction Day Parade. Boom! Thank you! From, like, what is this? Reading comprehension. It's like you read something and you gather the clues to figure out what it means. Not Polish, Polish! Roger, you were right. I mean, I knew he was Polish, but Polish and construction, they go together. Anyways, I'm dumb. A surprisingly prestigious job for a local politician. For 3 years, he carried out this task with military precision. In 1978, he even had the pleasure of hosting First Lady Rosalind Carter as a special guest of honor, just a year after Mrs. Carter had met with cult leader and mass murderer Jim Jones in San Francisco because of Jones's social work. Why are you laughing, Roger? Gacy would tell people that he and the First Lady were close personal friends until the day he was caught. You fucking liar. Look, his little tiki bar. Um, 2 bloody virgins, please. Coming right up. What's that smell? Oh, just the bodies underneath my floorboards. Eureka! Rosalind Carter is one person away from Jimmy Carter. And what does Jimmy have? Peanuts. Who loves peanuts? Carnival folks. Who works at a carnival? Clowns. Ah, it all makes sense. Okay, yeah, Ben. Rosalind Carter is still my hall pass celebrity in my relationship. Ew. The fact that Gacy was a braggart and a blowhard was no secret, but he was still popular in the neighborhood. He was praised as a local business leader who gave opportunities to young boys wanting to earn a fair day's pay for a fair day's work. Nobody questioned him, seemingly good intentions, even when his employees started going missing. Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask you to come in on Saturday. Okay? I guarantee John Wayne Gacy politically spun this whole thing as not about killing employees, but about creating jobs. Gacy's third victim, John Butkovich, Butkovich was one of these employees. Recruited from a local hardware store, Butkovich worked so well with his boss that they earned paired nicknames, Big John and Little John. Ooh. But when Little John quit in 1975 and the two became embroiled in a protracted argument over a paycheck, Big John's murderous impulse took control. Ah! No sex involved. Not a passion crime. Or whatever. No, it's a passion crime. On the night of July 31st, Gacy invited Butkovich over to his house on Summerdale to see if the dispute could be settled peacefully. Both were drunk before Butkovich even showed up. After negotiations turned belligerent, Gacy slapped a pair of handcuffs on his former employee, and then the world went black. How convenient. It's just called shame and guilt. You can dig it up. This is serious stuff. He just... Okay. When he woke up the next day, Butkovich was dead on the floor with a rope tied tightly around his neck. He quickly buried the body under the concrete floor in his garage, treating its disposal as just another construction project. Yikes! Zoinks! Though he was questioned by the police and even briefly followed, there was never enough evidence to link him to the disappearance. Butkovich's body would be the first identified when the authorities finally discovered what Gacy drolly called his unlicensed graveyard. This fool, man. That's a city ordinance violation, John. Almost a year would pass before Gacy would kill again. Yeah, man. Cool the fuck off. But the spring of 1976 initiated a 30-victim murder spree that would begin to slow down. Wait. 75? I'm just looking for dates. Okay. Oh, and see, they're jumping around. In 1978, he even had the pleasure of hosting First Lady Rosalind. Big wow. Like, I don't fucking care. Alright. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure that, like, I'm reading dates, and for some reason they're, like, registering out of order to me. So, back in 60, he was an assistant, whatever. In 78, he hosted for the stupid parade, whatever. It's like, I don't care. Okay. 75 construction, and then his mate quits, and the July 31st he kills him of 75. Okay. And then in 76, now shit is getting turned. 76 initiated a 30 victim murder spree that wouldn't begin to slow down until he ran out of room to hide the fucking bodies 2 years later. Fucking Bubbles. I like when Bubbles does that from Trailer Park Race. I'm like, fuck, Ricky! When 400 people showed up to his Spirit of 76 party to see John dressed as a fat George Washington, 9 bodies were already moldering beneath guests' feet. Fuck, Ricky! I wish Bubbles was here to read some of this with me. Ugh. Okay, so moldering, decomposing, that's a better word. Just like at the real George Washington's 40th birthday on his plantation. Oh, that's too soon. Too soon, Henry. Slavery, too soon. While Gacy varied in his methods of murder, he usually began the process with a trick. Hey, you guys want to see a trick? You know? And again, I'd be like, yes! After bringing his victim, he's like, no, this is the trick only for guys. I'd be like, what the fuck, man? After bringing his victims home and lowering their guards with either, booze or pot, he would ask if they wanted to learn a foolproof method for getting out of handcuffs. I'd be like, no. If the boys politely refused, Gacy would first demonstrate on himself. Hey, I can do it. Here, let me show you. He'd pop the cuffs off his wrist and then easily slip out without showing the potential victim how he'd done it. But as soon as the tables were turned and the victim's wrists were cuffed, Gacy would just stare and smile. Isn't that cute? You're all restrained. When they inevitably asked what the next step of the trick was, he would hold their gaze and say, "You need the key." No shit. Excuse me while my skin crawls off my body. I would be so mad. I would be so mad if somebody said they were going to show me a trick and then they just, like, handcuffed my hands and then said I'd need a key. Like, yeah, you're real fucking funny. That's like a dumb dad joke, you know? It's like, ha ha ha. Not funny, old guy. Should have bought the house with the 40-person crawl. I know, right? Instead of the 9-person crawl space, you need the 40. Upgrade to the 40. Always, you never know. I mean, you plan to just kill one person at least once in your life before you die, but plan on 2 extra. That's what Grandma always said. By October 1976, Gacy took a pause from picking boys from the streets and murdered 2 more of his employees. Fuck me. 19-year-old William Bundy stopped off at Gacy's home on the way to a party and found his way to the crawl space under the master bedroom. How did that happen? 17-year-old Gregory Godzik actually helped dig trenches for bodies under the ruse that Gacy was replacing the plumbing in his home before eventually occupying one of those ditches himself. What the fuck? See, we don't have any details. We're just like, name in the body or in the crawl space. Name in under the house. Good leadership means good delegation. Real funny, Roger. Hold on. Okay, are you fucking ready for this? 2 employees managed to survive whatever Gacy threw their way. These motherfuckers are really gonna beat him up. Some theorize that these boys, David Cram and Michael Rossi, stayed alive by helping Gacy with his crimes. Oh. That they might have lured victims to Gacy just as Dean Kroll's accomplices had done in Houston a few years earlier. I don't know anything about that. Or at least I'm not like computing it, processing what this means. But it's also possible they just participated in disposal. Or they may not have been involved at all and were merely kept around because Gacy liked them. But it's through Cram's close call with death that we know about the killer's occasional habit of incorporating Pogo the Clown into his murderous plots. Gag me with a spoon. You've got me in handcuffs. You know what I mean? Like, I already feel like I'm gonna get raped. And you walk in wearing like a clown costume. Like, can you just shoot me before you rape me and bury me in the... Good Lord, what a nightmare. Well, that's not very funny, Mr. Pogo the Clown. It's showtime, baby. He knew when he bought the clown suit, he was gonna kill a bunch of boys while wearing it. Which is why most clown suits are purchased. I don't care. Cram lived with Gacy for a time. Well after the murders began. And one of his last nights there, he'd been out celebrating his birthday with a couple of friends. When he got back to Gacy's, he opened the door to find his host standing on the threshold, dressed head to toe in his pogo outfit, complete with full clown makeup. Oh my god, it's like Steve Buscemi and Billy Madison when he's like putting the lipstick on his lips and he just like writes the names down. He's gonna kill him. This is where it comes from. Okay. So Gacy's excuse for the strange sight was that he'd been preparing for a clowning gig the next day. But since it was David's birthday, he thought it would be fun to keep Pogo going for the duration of the night. After a few drinks of grain alcohol, what is that, like the hard, thick shit, you know, like moonshine, grain alcohol? What is that, old John Barleycorn? Anyways, a couple of Valiums, and a few tokes from a joint. Damn! Drinking, popping, smoking. Gacy gave Cram a private pogo show. Come on, guys. Complete with a skunk puppet. Pretty sure this is still what most clowns consume before they're ready to perform. Note to reader. This is a cocktail meant to be taken by yourself, never alone with your boss. Oh, Henry Zabrowski. You're so funny. Yes, the man dug his own fucking grave. I would have been like, hell no. After the show, Gacy performed the handcuff trick on Cram. Once Cram was restrained, Gacy grabbed the chain linking the cuffs and swung Cam around the room, laughing his best pogo cackle, all while the teen screamed to be let go. Eventually, Cram used the training he learned during his years in the army and managed to kick his captor in the head, yeah, knocking him down. Then he grabbed the keys, unlocked himself, and waited expectantly for Gacy to explain himself. No, you call the cops. You call for help. You get out of there. When Gacy got up from the floor, the two stared at each other and shared an uncomfortable silence. It's like, wow, 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 wow. Or was it like this? No, I don't know. Cram then went to his room, locked the door, and tried to forget the incident. This fool. He did eventually move out, but he continued working for Gacy until the very last day of Gacy's freedom, never asking questions, even when he was ordered to take over Godzik's job of digging trenches in the crawl space, which no doubt held... Is this fucker in jail? Held the unmistakable stench. This kid... Choices. You have choices in life, and you've got to go with your intuition. You know what I mean? Like, am I hanging out with a bad group of kids? Is my boss a serial killer? Should I just hang out in my room and lock the door? Like, yes, Mary. Fucking move out. Or you're going to jail. I'm so mad at this kid. I don't even know what to... Like, I'm like... He's responsible for these kids' death. Just ask why you're digging. It's easy. If you're not making a moat, you're making a grave, right? All you have to say is that you're putting up in a pool, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation style, and everyone will be happy with you. As Gacy continued his killing spree, his methods became more refined. When he reached the point in the evening at which he was no longer having fun with his victims, he would kill them in one of two ways. The first was the infamous rope trick. Oh, good lord, these tricks. Not even cool tricks. Using a rope and a length of wood, Gacy would wrap the rope around his prey's neck and tie 3 knots. Crossover, hammer, handle, crossover. Someone describe to me what this is. The length of wood would be then slipped through the hole provided by the hammer handle, giving Gacy the leverage he needed to slowly twist until the life was choked out of his handcuffed quarry. Although this was Gacy's favorite method, at least 13 of his victims met their ends through suffocation. Ooh. Instead of wrapping a rope around their necks, he stuffed the victims' own underwear down their throats. Once the underwear was in their mouths, he induced vomiting, causing the boys to choke to death on their own regurgitation. Fuck you. That is just evil. Amazingly, some of Gacy's victims managed to break free. Yes! Arthur Wenzel, a sex worker picked up from the streets of Chicago's North Side, survived a night at the Gacy home in the fall of 1977. Gacy eventually got him into the handcuffs and began his rope trick, but as he was twisting the instrument of death, Wenzel wrenched his body sideways, grabbed one of Gacy's testicles and squeezed. Defeated, Gacy let go, complained about the groin pain for a while, and let his young guest loose, even giving him a ride back to his hotel. Yes, hit him in the balls like you're the kid in Problem Child. What Wenzel soon found out was that Gacy was well known in the gay sex worker community. Some knew him as Jack, right? Jack Han, whatever. Others by his real name. 3 had filed reports for assault, but it wasn't until a straight boy who'd been raped came forward that Gacy was arrested. What the fuck? These cops. These homophobic cops. Son of a... my mouth, I know. My language is just... Despite the fact that Gacy had impersonated a police officer and used a gun to force this victim into his car, the charge was quickly dismissed. Oh, no. What the hell, Chicago North Side Police Department? By spring 1978, Gacy's body count had reached 32. Let me say that again. 32. Did I stutter? Yes, I did. I can't believe there's 32 fucking boys under his house. All that work, all that digging. Ugh. Oh my gosh. First of all, guys, okay, I'm gonna keep going and then I'll talk after. Only once had an investigation come even close to touching him. Gosh, sheesh. His known victims were mostly younger boys of a lower socioeconomic class, loved by their families, but not important enough to inspire an intensive investigation following their disappearance. The others were transients, homeless people, sex workers, faceless young men forgotten by society even before they went in Gacy's crawl space. I'll talk after. 6 remain unidentified to this day. But his last victim was neither poor nor transient. Oh, I wonder why it was his last. Fucking listen up. He was popular in high school. He was a sophomore named Robert Peist. Gacy had noticed Peist one night while giving an estimate on some new shelves at the pharmacy where the boy worked. Struck with an immediate need to have him, Gacy started a conversation about how much Peist made working there before inviting him to his home. Ostensibly to talk about a higher paying job with PDM construction. Peist did not survive the conversation. What? He nutted so hard for this kid. This murder was the most reckless of Gacy's career, right? Couldn't control the nut. Lacking any sort of forethought or regard for consequences. It was obvious that Gacy was the last person to see the boy alive. See? Yeah, this fat guy was talking to fucking, what's the kid? The kid that I work with, you know? Like, yeah, you're in trouble. Multiple witnesses had seen him at the pharmacy inviting Peist back to his house, and Peist had even told his mother where he was going that night. Gacy came under suspicion the very next day, and when cops looked up his record, boom, 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 bring. Like, what? How many? I want to say, like, under 15, maybe 10 charges on him. They found the old Iowa sodomy conviction along with multiple reports of sexual assault. A warrant led to the discovery of a receipt for photo development from Peist's pharmacy in a trash can. But what really piqued the police's interest was the sickly sweet smell emanating from the vents in Gacy's home. Sweet smell. Hey, John. Not to pry, but you got a couple of bags of Shake Shack in the garbage pail filled with maggots in your house. Or is it boy corpses? None of us are sure. I wonder if some of the cops were hoping he was creating a new secret recipe for the Colonel at KFC. What had finally put the cops on Gacy's case was the discovery that in the previous 2 years, a whole slew of his employees had gone missing under mysterious and sudden circumstances. With that information in hand, they put a tail on John Wayne Gacy, following him for 8 days straight. Gacy tried playing it cool for as long as he could, inviting his tails to dinner and sending over drinks while they followed him. Fucking... Hey guys, just want to give you some cheesesteaks. I saw you just hanging out over here. Yep. Carry on. You guys want some beers? He even lawyered up hiring attorney Sam Amarante for a possible police harassment suit. But every time the cops spoke with Gacy, his casual demeanor began to crack a little bit more. There's just like a bead of sweat coming down. The pressure was mounting, and he knew the time would be soon coming when he wouldn't be able to talk his way out of things. On the night before his capture, Gacy tearfully and drunken haze admitted to his lawyers that he had killed over 30 people. The lawyers were understandably shocked, as they thought the extent of their roles in the case was representing their client in a civil suit for police harassment. The next day, they contacted the Chicago people, what is this? Like Des Moines, but Des Plaines? Or Des Plaines Police Department, and informed them that while they could not legally... Heyo! The moderator. The cops' incompetence was the only serial killer... was the only serial killers were able to exist back then. Yes, thank you. The only reason for them to exist. Like I said, the whole, like, police matrix of having interstate referencing and all of the files on you, like, it didn't exist back then. So you could just, like, okay, I'm leaving Chicago, going to California, kill about 40 more people. Anyways, do I know you? Do I know you? I don't know you. That's my purse. Alright. Uh-oh. 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 What did I do? Okay. Woo! Okay, so, I'm gonna go back to this picture. I'm not sure if I can, if you guys will see. Hopefully you can see it. Come on. Come on. Alright. We've got John Wayne Gacy. What is this, like Chutes and Ladders? Alright, I got the book right here too. I wonder what page this is. Oh. Okay, so in the center of the picture it says, "Find the bodies if you can." And then he goes down the chimney. Whee! And then he's running up the street. The mafia made me do it. He used to tell the boys that he knew people. Like, he insinuated that he knew dudes in the mafia, and if the boys lost a game of pool to him and they didn't give him a blowjob, that he would call, he knew guys. You know what I mean? Like, fucking, ugh. Anyways, a loop-de-loop around here, into the store, Kentucky Fried Chicken. You've all been wonderful chicken people, but I may have killed 30 or more boys. Sorry. Sorry, Boots, the inconvenience. And then he runs out. And then, what's in this car? What the hell is he up to? That looks like Stanley. Anyways, he runs over here. Okay, let's pick him up now. Oh, these are the cop guys. Why, Daddy? Why? Let's go back over here. He's talking to someone. Oh, look at this. It says hell. Right here. Hell, services are business. And then there's a gas pump in a car, and he's speaking. This little speaky bubble says, "By the way, I may have killed around 30 boys, give or take a few." And then the gas attendant says, "Oh, here's a couple of doobies." Oh my gosh, what? Say what? So, he's trying to get this kid. "Thank you for your service, my good man. Here's a couple of doobies for your trouble." The kids would yell at me if I'm doing such a bad job of reading this comic book style. Let's go over here. Okay, so last day of freedom, here I come. Oh, fuck, I should have started there. I'm a ding-dong. You'll never catch me. And then he gets in his car. And then he goes around. Screech. Oh, you guys remember Screech? Rip. "Hey, slow down, jagoff. Kiss my ass." Honk, honk. And then behind the house. "Ha ha ha. Hey, you know those holes I had you digging in my basement? Ha ha ha. They might be full of dead boys. I'm gonna borrow this ladder." Did you say dead boys? And then back here. "Neat. Give me a scotch. Better make it a double. Whoop, 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 whoop. I've been a bad boy." Okay, it's like Homer. It's just like Homer. Anyways. Well, Getting a terrified phone call from the defense attorney has to be near the same level of fear as when the doctor is reading your lab results and they're on multiple pieces of paper that are stapled together. As preparations were being made to execute a search warrant on Gacy's home, he was waking up on his last day of freedom feeling hungover and skittish. He drove, with the cops on his tail, to his regular gas station, dangerously speeding through a school zone along the way. Gotta go under 25. When he was stopped, the cop, in chewing him out, used one insult that for some reason stabbed at Gacy's soul: jagoff. This word usually sent him into a blind rage. His second ex-wife said that the only time she'd seen him lose his shit was when she had pulled that word out of her vocabulary. But on the last day, it seemed to sap Gacy's will to live. So jagoff was to Gacy what being called chicken was to Marty McFly, only instead of being a hero, Gacy was also Biff. Right? Once Gacy was back on his way and had parked at the Park Ridge Shell Station, he got out of his car and conspicuously crammed a plastic baggie containing 3 joints into the attendant's pocket during his tail to arrest him. Daring his tail to arrest him. However, the cops were waiting for the main search warrant on Gacy's house, which was due later that day, so they let it go for the moment. After the car was gassed up, the cops followed him to the house of Ron Rode. Rode was a fairly good friend of Gacy's, but on that day, Ron was suddenly his best friend in the entire world. He knocked on Ron's door, asked for a morning scotch, and vaguely babbled about how his life was coming to an end. Then he downed drink after drink before finally standing up and announcing that he needed to go to the cemetery to see his dad. Holy shit, he's fucking losing it. Now that picture makes more sense. Whoop, 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 whoop. Ron stood in his doorway baffled as Gacy hugged him one last time and confessed through a veil of tears, "Ron, I've been a bad boy." When Ron asked what he'd done, Gacy replied, "I killed 30 people, give or take a few." This is fucking cracking me up. Okay, yeah, when you gotta start rounding the number of people you've killed, I'd say it's time to get off the streets and into the prison sheets. When I get scotch drunk, I mostly sit in hotel rooms and cry about how no one understands the song Baker Street like I do. I also haven't committed dozens of murders. I don't think I ever got drunk on scotch. That's gross. If I drink scotch, I was like this right after. But I did drink a lot of Jack Daniels and Coca-Cola. With that, John left and returned to the gas station. Oh my god, this fucker. Where he parked. Walked inside and awkwardly hugged the owner, thanking him for many years of good service. He's losing it. The next stop was to employee David Cram's apartment. Oh my god, remember that boy? Where supposed accomplice Michael Rossi was also hanging out. Still weeping, Gacy told them he'd confessed to 30 murders, but tweaked the story to impress his teenage friends, saying he'd done them all on behalf of the Chicago Mafia. Since Gacy was drunk and full of Valium by this point, Cram volunteered to drive him to meet with his lawyers. Gacy agreed, but said they had to make one more stop: his father's grave. It's almost certain that Gacy intended to kill himself on the grass in front of Stanley's headstone, possibly in some sort of impotent gesture of revenge on the man who helped make him into the monster he'd become. But the police wouldn't give him that satisfaction. No, no, no. Sensing that he was building up to a dramatic display of some sort, the 2 detectives on his tail arrested him on drug charges stemming from earlier stunt at the Shell gas station. Later that day, police discovered Gacy's makeshift graveyard. It didn't take long for him to begin confessing. He soon became a pariah both in his community and the world at large as the press seized upon the headline, Killer Clown. Hi, Marshy. Hi, baby girl. I'm going to take a little break because I got to clean up this little girl. Are you so dirty? Are you so dirty? Hold on. Guess who's back? Back again. Shelly's back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? You smell like sap. I'm gonna give you a bath. Okay. But the police wouldn't give him that satisfaction. Yeah, you can't go kill yourself and be all... You can't be all dramatic, okay? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I would try to. Alright, here we go. Dirty girl. You're a dirty girl. At trial, Gacy attempted an insanity defense, claiming that his Jack Hanley and the other guy personas were unfortunate products of the now discredited syndrome of multiple personalities. He believed he wasn't at fault for his crimes. Thankfully, the shocking amount of premeditation that went into committing and covering up the murders was more than enough to sentence Gacy to death. And he was executed by lethal injection on May 9th, 1994. I was in 4th grade. Following the last meal of Kentucky Fried Chicken, this fool. Yes, you're going to hell. Straight out of Hades. Yeah, he's going to hell. God. Ugh. Kentucky Fried Chicken as his last meal? Oh my gosh. Hold on, I'm just checking. I don't know what happened. Oh. I just smelled my fingers on stream. I thought that's funny. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know what happened. It said reconnecting. Stream was disconnected. Attempting to reconnect a few seconds ago. Interesting. I don't know if we're back, guys. I don't know what happened, to be honest. Let's check it. And I got so close. So close. Anyways, thank you for coming. We're pretty much wrapping it up here. I've got... Oh, yeah. Twitch is not allowing me. What is the deal, Twitch? Hmm. 12 seconds? Yo ho. It's Jelly. Yeah. My name's Michelleybuff, and I was reading the last couple pages of the stream, and it went down. And I don't know why. I was so close. Yo ho, the mistletoe. Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year. Oh, by golly, have a holly jolly Christmas this year. Ooh, later that day, police discovered Gacy's makeshift graveyard. It didn't take long for him to begin confessing. He soon became a pariah, both in his community and the world at large, as the press seized upon the headline Killer Clown. At trial, Gacy attempted an insanity defense, claiming that his Jack Hanley and other guy personas were unfortunate products of the now discredited syndrome of multiple personalities. He believed he wasn't at fault for his crimes. Oh my gosh. Thankfully, the shocking amount of premeditation that went into committing and covering up the murders was more than enough to sentence Gacy to death. And he was executed by lethal injection on May 9th, 1994. Following the last meal of Kentucky Fried Chicken. Give me a break. Interestingly enough, Gacy didn't inflate his victims' count like many other serial killers do during confession. He lowballed his by almost 10. Wow. Unlike murderers like Dennis Rader, John Wayne Gacy wasn't proud of his crimes, but he did show a certain curiosity towards his own motivations. He spent years with psychiatrists, alternating between manipulation and genuine self-reflection. But even with these years of therapy, the one thing he could never admit to was his own sexual nature. Remember? Oh gosh, okay. I'm not going to get into it. Whether or not Gacy would have killed regardless of his acceptance of his sexuality is a matter of conjecture. But it is a fact that society's unwillingness at the time to take seriously the disappearances of his victims and his supervisors' reports ensured that John Wayne Gacy would earn a place as one of the most prolific serial killers in American history. The end. Yeah. Way to go, Chicago PD. Right, Marshmallow? These fools didn't care at all. They were so uncomfortable with homosexuals. They just didn't do their jobs. Incompetence, as someone said earlier. Help wanted. Here we go. There's another illustration. PDM Construction is looking for strong, muscular teenagers with a healthy work ethic and good sense of humor to work at laying pipe, drilling holes, and sawing wood. The job pays $2 hourly, with bonus pay for those young men who go above and beyond. The dress code is tight white t-shirts and cut-off shorts. Vagrants welcome. Please apply on site at 8213 West Summerdale, Chicago, Illinois. For more information, call 1-800 JWG boys. Yeah, boys. My Meeting with Rosalind Carter by John Wayne Gacy. Cook County News Herald, May 6, 1978. It was a beautiful spring day in Chicago. It was hotter than usual, and the whole neighborhood was alive with the buzz of a summer so close you could taste it. That Saturday began like most. I woke up full of excitement. a bit earlier than usual, shaved, and scarfed down my usual all-American breakfast of bacon, eggs, and Bellini. I love a good Bellini. What the fuck is Bellini? I remember every detail because it was the day I met former First Lady Rosalind Carter. I was given the opportunity to meet Mrs. Carter because of my extensive activism, including my work as the director of the Polish Constitution Day Parade. I don't read good. A privilege that came from being a respected cornerstone of my community. That afternoon, as the kids ran through the sprinklers across the street, a strapping 14-year-old mowed our front lawn. As a community leader, I believe in empowering our youth through entrepreneurship, and therefore I always gave the young men in our neighborhood an opportunity to work, both at my company and in my home. Children are our future. Sitting on my porch, I thought about how Mrs. Carter and our former president, Jimmy Carter, had created over 9 million jobs during his term. As I watched Robbie toil, dripping in the heat of that usually hot May Day, I was filled with a deep sense of satisfaction. I was also doing my part. I chose my outfit carefully that night. I have many nice suits, tan suits, blue suits, and even a purple jacket. But for my meeting with the First Lady, I knew I had to wear my classiest maroon number. My father would have said it made me look like a fruit picker. But that didn't affect me. No, my dad has zero negative impact on my life choices whatsoever. As I slipped on my jacket and tied my shoes, I felt more confident than ever. Like Sonny Bono without my Cher. I don't understand what people see in her. I always say fishnets are for catching fish, not for wearing. Oh my god. I'm looking at my face I make. I don't fucking believe what he just said. I combed my hair, poured some salt under the floorboards, and hopped in my brand new Dodge. Finally, after what seemed like an endless drive, I arrived at the Ponderosa for a big Democratic Party dinner. I'll never forget walking through those faux salon double doors, like faux fur, but faux salon double doors, and looking up to see Mrs. Carter staring right at me, as if to say, "John, that jacket does not make you look like a fruit picker." I looked back at her with my palms filled with sweat as a bead began dripping down my forehead, like a drunk Canadian driving from Vancouver to Seattle. Words cannot... What is this bashing on drunk Canadians for? Words cannot express how radiant she looked as I approached the table where she was sitting. She was like a peach, but instead of fuzz, she was encased in what can only be described as hairs from a baby angel. Ew. When I was close, I extended my hand. And she nearly lost it when she saw what was in my palm. That's right. Evelyn Rosalind Carter had heard about my famous rope trick. I wanted nothing more than to entertain this woman with the world at her fingertips, and entertain her I did. Anticipating the trick, she extended her wrists, and I did not disappoint. I twisted the rope until her hands were tightly bound, and we laughed at as the Secret Service confronted me and forced me to untie her. Mrs. Carter has an amazing, almost French sense of humor. The French have a sense of humor? And I could tell she didn't think I was a fruit picker at all, because I am not. No siree, I'm not gay. She picked right up on my hyper-masculinity. We spoke for what seemed like hours until security forced us apart. Rosalind didn't want me to go, her eyes beseeching that we continue our conversation about gas prices, the problems with homosexuality, and of course, the bears. After security sat me at a healthy distance from the First Lady, I made her laugh from afar, rolling my tie up like deli meat and pretending to eat it. She laughed and laughed with her eyes as I channeled my inner Hanley and twinkled my fingers in her direction like this before twinkled my fingers in her direction before holding my breath until my face was purple. Her expression was priceless. I bet I could please her more than Jimmy can. Indeed, it was a perfect evening. Can you believe what I'm reading? I'm sorry. This is so embarrassing. I'm so embarrassed. Oh, they talked about gas prices. His hypermasculinity with his maroon number. He was not. I'm blushing because I'm so embarrassed. Yay! We're done. We are done. Done, 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 done. Done. Good Lord. You know? Don't you know what I'm saying? Richard Ramirez is next. And that was insane. That was disgusting. It was insane. I don't know. It was... Again, it's like so much. Here, let's go back. Whew. It is so much going over how incompetent the police were, the homophobia, all those boys. The less dead, that term, fuck that. Again, so like, I have this issue, right? Like, I wasn't raised like wealthy or anything. I'm pretty lower middle class. My mom was on welfare growing up, so like, but she always raised us to not ignore the homeless people in our community, to like make eye contact, and like, you know, like we don't have to smile or wave. Like when we were children, we're not trying to like, I mean, I was really friendly, so I would say hi. But I went on Nextdoor the other day, and I just wanted to tell like my neighborhood that I've lived here for about a year, and I started reading some of the posts, and some of the posts are just bullshit. It's like, oh, so and so left their dog's poop bag on the sidewalk. This is horrible, you know. They must be like demons, or the, you know, gosh. And then there's some posts about like, I think you guys should be safe because there's a bunch of panhandlers down at the Safeway, don't you know? And I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, these fucking people. So I live in the Bay Area, and it's I live in a city where it's becoming more and more, I don't like, I mean, I'm not gonna say gentrified. It's just, it's pretty much staying white. You know what I mean? It's just, it's white, but it's also like I grew up in South San Francisco, so there was like Mexican, homeless, Asian, Filipino, Tongan, Samoans. You know, I don't like, I have to be real about my community. There are homeless people here, but it's not as much as like San Francisco. And the homeless people that like live around here are really nice. Like, I don't get any weirdo psycho vibes. Not to say that there aren't weirdo psychos here in the peninsula, but it just disgusts me how even like police officers are like, I don't know, people just ignore them. Anyways, I hope someday when I'm homeless, I'm not ignored. Because that's how it's going. These gas prices, am I right? Anyways, that's my rant. What else can I introduce you to the book. Oh, yeah, don't you know? I posted the book and its information on the video, the previous video, part one. I have no idea how this video is going to come out because it, you know, Twitch and, oh, maybe, yeah, recording stopped right as I was finishing the chapter. So, um, oh, David Berkowitz, Ed Gein. Yeah, you know, ugh, Andre Chikatilo. Oh, anyways, anyways, anyways. So yeah, that's my spiel about the book, and I don't know when I'm gonna do Richard Ramirez. To be honest, like I should practice streaming more, but I kind of just want to play some games now. I want to play Hades and Fortnite tonight, so I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Thank you.